welcome along and welcome back to Attingham Park. Today we are carefully maneuvering around because we're trying to get our seeder refilled with some seed and some fertilizer because it is the final day of seeding here on Attingham Park. We have one field left to go. We've got ourselves into a position where we've got just field 2C left to do. We've put the last few seeds into here, and this is not going to take many seeds of the sorghum because this is a very good field. It's probably going to be fairly heavy on the fertilizer, but I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. We're also going to take a long, hard look at this seeder going forwards and into next year. We might upgrade it to something else. At the moment, it's a little bit of a problem to get it backwards and forwards. It doesn't quite detach properly and things like that. So, yeah, we've got it here, and we're going to be using it, I think, for a little bit. Well, maybe not using it again next year. I've got some alternatives that I'm looking at. None of them are great for road transport. That's the only downside I've got. Let's get those off, and then we'll see if we can fill this right up with fertilizer, because this being just loam that we're going to be planting in means that we are going to have quite a large amount of fertilizer used. So just get the fertilizer in there, and then we can set this off. Yep. And it being the last day, we are going to find as well that we've got to roll the fields that we did last time. So if we have a look in here quickly and have a look at what needs rolling. So we'll take the stones off. Stones, we're now clear on 2C, of course, after last time. We don't have a huge amount of stones anywhere else. 2B actually has more than I'd expect, mainly because it's got lots of small stones that are roll and missed last time. But on the farm in general, we're clear of stones at this point. What we do need to do is we've got to go and roll field 6. So we're going to get this started here over on 2C. And once we've got this started, what we can do is go and grab our roller and head over with the I think we're probably going to do it with the 8340, seeing as the 7810 is sitting on the weeder. And then next time what we'll need to do is we'll need to get the weeder through these two fields that we're doing today. We're looking pretty good over the farm in general, which is great news. We do not have a huge amount of money. I'm hoping that this is not going to cost a lot for us today to run this tractor and get it doing the seeding. We're going to try and get it to finish up on this corner here. So we'll bring this into here like so. We'll bring up course play. We click on the no course and it immediately sets everything up for us. Multiple tools, number of headlands. I'm going to take that to 4 so it gives it more space to turn around. Start work on center. Yep. Up, down, angle 90 degrees. Yes. So let's generate a course. And there we go. Finishing in this bottom corner where we are and starting up there. And you can see how much fertilizer we're going to have on here. So I think, yeah, we'll up this. Just driving across the field, it's giving me a rough idea. And it should be fairly flat across the field looking at this as well. So, yeah, a lot of fertilizer going to be going into this. So we're going to be doing a fair amount of back and forth. I've set it up to first waypoint. So we just line it up. We want to turn the variable seed rate off as well. So the activate variable seed rate is U. And we are setting it to the low end of the seed rate because it doesn't need a large amount of seeds on here. Although, it's saying it needs a medium amount of seeds on here, which is interesting. So if I up this, let's turn it on. Let's get it going and see what it does. I'm putting a low number of seeds on here, but I think we might need to up the variable seed rate. So let's do that. So left, shift, and J. Ups that. Oh, right. Okay. So this is what always confused me. We've got a medium seed rate. What we need is a low seed rate. So the circles are how much we're actually doing. The underline under it is how much it needs. Yeah, this field needs a low seed rate. So that's all good. Right. Let's do this then. And we're good on the variable seed rate and everything. First waypoint, and away you go. So with our seeder now going, we can turn our attention to field 6 and getting everything rolled. We actually left the roller down here. So I've got the 8340. I keep wanting to call it the 7840 down here. Because 7840 is a tractor that I used to drive myself. We got the rain today, but that shouldn't affect what we're trying to do. Looks like it doesn't want to hook up very easily though. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Hook all of that up. And then we've just got this field to roll. And field is always an interesting field to try and work. Because it has got a slightly weird angle to it. And a weird setup over here as well. So I'm going to try and do it straight along this edge here. That should be 300 by the looks of it. Maybe not. We'll give it a try, see what happens. Yeah, it never really matters exactly how I seed these fields. It's just so long as I keep the same angle when I'm rolling it. And this is 296, I think, is where I'm going to go. On second thoughts, with this straight edge here, it looks like 293 is actually a better bet. So I've come into that now. I think that also it's the best place to start is just the other side of those trees there, a little bit into the field. It makes up for the slight kink that exists at that bottom end of the field. So works a bit better. Just trying to turn this as sharp as I can around this headland so that I can get back into here, and we want to be at 113 degrees on the way back. And hopefully, if we look behind, we're now not missing any either, which we're not. So, yeah, we should be able to get this field done fairly easily now, especially with this tractor. This tractor is perfect for this job. And, in fact, it's got the same horsepower as all our other tractors on the farm. So, it's not a case of us having one tractor better for this than others. Other than the county, because the county just can't turn for pig manure. One other thing we are still keeping an eye on at the moment is the value of field 15. Now, at the moment, we still need to raise the money to buy it if we're going to try and buy it. We have got a fairly big contract sitting on field 42, but it's a tedding contract for hay. And none of the really big fields are giving us lots of silage contract. Everything at the moment seems to be a hay baling contract, which is not going to make us a lot of money. Field 25 seems to be pretty good, and we have we could get a decent amount of cash from that, but it's not the level that is going to allow us to buy field 15. Field 15's price has gone up. And is currently sitting at, I think, around 100 and I think we're sitting at around about 160,000. Let's have a look here. Here we are. So yeah, field 15. Just look at the size. This field 15 is bigger than our entire farm. It would be a ridiculous field for us to purchase. It is currently 127,000. Yeah, I don't have enough money for that, which is just crazy. So, yeah, we just don't have the cash to do it at the moment, and I don't think any of those contracts are going to let us. It has a crop of corn sitting in it. So, yeah, it would be a massive harvest if we got it. I think it's not going to happen, though. I think we are just not going to be able to raise the cash in time. We shall see. It would take an amazing opportunity for us to actually do that. And who knows, one of those fields, they might decide that they want to have silage instead of hay from it, especially if we leave it. So we'll see what happens. Well, the rain has stopped and is nice and clear now. And I should say that we've got, 2 days and about 20 hours before that auction ends for Field 15. It is still quite a big leap to try and get it. And I think actually with our current setup, as I said many times before, it would be almost impossible for us to do. We'd need at least a second combine, if not a bigger combine. And we would also need to have some bigger tractors, I think, to work it, and some bigger equipment. I think it's a little beyond what we have now, which is not to say that it would be impossible for us to do. I think it would just be very, very difficult for us to do. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. If we can do it, we'll do it. If we can't, I think it will be a case of going, oh, it's a pity, but we're going to move on. And we're going to continue our work towards what we're aiming to do this year, which is buy up the land this side of the river. At the moment, we own just Field 6. The idea is to try and buy 7, 4, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and own everything sort of on this corner. If we can get 14 and 13 as well and split those two, that's basically what I'm aiming to do. So there's quite a lot of stuff still to buy on here. We are on course to get a large chunk of it this year. We have well, based on last year's income and the fact that we have a lot more that we're hitting this year, we should end up with a very, very large pot to play with come the winter. Unfortunately, if we got Field 15, we would end up with a larger pot, but I don't think that's going to happen. One of those things which, if it happens, it's going to all be a little bit amazing, but with only about £1,000 in the pot, thanks to our fishing rental and fishing hire on the river, we've got such a big hill to climb. This end of this field gets really fiddly. It's the angle that it comes in at is just a little bit annoying. We are able to turn around in it without too much problems, so I'm not having too much of an issue with it. But yeah, it just gets, you do fewer and fewer rows, and as you do fewer rows, you end up getting more and more fiddly. We are making very good progress, though. We need to get this field and 2C rolled today, otherwise crops in both of them will germinate without being able to roll it any further. So I need to get both of these done today. That is not going to be a problem. I think the health of our tractor is fairly good. Yeah, health of our tractor actually is about the same as the health of the rollers. So that is all good. And it looks like our seeder actually is just making very good time with its with the county on it, despite the county's flaws. That county, I think, is the tractor we're going to be changing first. It is our tractor that is worth the most money. There is nothing in the shop at the moment. And I don't know if I have anything in my medium tractors on these. We've got a TW20 or TW35 in here. We have this Ford 8630 as well. That again is a little bit older. Has 130 horsepower, so about the same horsepower as we've got everywhere else, and that would possibly do. So we've got options in here. And then in the larger tractors, which is where we might be looking for this kind of thing, yeah, we've not got anything in there. So I think even the small tractors, there isn't much in here either. Yeah, we've got a few Fords in here. That's where our county is. Yes. So I might go looking for some slightly more modern New Holland and see if we can update a little bit. Something that's a bit more late 90s, early 2000s, rather than a lot of the stuff we have, which is sort of late 80s, early 90s. That we have on here at the moment. And finally, our seeder needs refilling, and as expected, it's the fertilizer it needs. It is on the headlands looking at this, which is great because it means I only need to put this bag of, or this remaining 87% bag of double top in here. Let's open this up. There we go. And then we can come out here and refill this. Yeah, I think we've got plenty of seed still in here. It is just the fertilizer that needs filling up. And with that will be the last of the seeding we need to do for this year. Yeah, all of that bag will go in. We'll go and put this tractor back up at the farm. First, close that up. And nearest waypoint. Start our engine up. Yeah, there we go. And then just back this up. We can see what line it's on, which is good. And go. And that has just brought it back by 1 and is still following the same line. So, yeah, we'll leave that going and head back to our rolling. Last really fiddly bit in this corner. Just trying to get around here and get this. But they're going to pick the rollers up and take them back to the start of the field because we need to do 2 headlands with them. So let's pick up our rollers here. And yeah, easiest way is to go back to the start. Otherwise, we end up in this bottom corner and have to drive along here anyway. And at the moment, we've not rolled all of this along here, so it makes sense for us to be able to go over it again. Down the side here. And actually, the place I probably want to start is back that way a little bit. So what I'm going to do is we've got some mist bits in the middle of the field here. Let's put our rollers down and we'll start going along here. And then we can cut down the side there and have this all nicely lined up for when we come back. Yep, this seems pretty good, and we'll end up back this end of the field. I'm incredibly pleased with our progress on the farm this year. But we've only had one really late night where it came close to not have everything done is amazing. That we have this field rolled in, that we've got field 2C nearly planted, nearly completely planted, means that we have every field now planted this year, and potentially every field at its top spec we can, except for the winter wheat, which of course we've had the problem with the weeds on, where we didn't know we needed the hoe in order to deal with the weeds on there. And as a result, we do have a bit of a weed problem in 2 of those winter wheat fields. In those 2 winter wheat fields, because we only have 2 fields of winter wheat. And yeah, so that's not ideal, but otherwise, everything is pretty much at the maximum we can get it with the equipment we have on here. And I'm ecstatic about that. That is just absolutely wonderful for our progress here on Attingham. And I think we are going to have enough money to expand the farm how I want to come the end of the year, which is huge. I mean, that is a massive bit of progress on here coming up to that point. So we'll have to see how things go and whether we get any harvest on those fields. I mean, we've got again with the whole thing of we need to make sure that we sort our own farm first before taking on any contracts. That's why at the moment I'm not taking on any contracts to try to buy field 15 because we haven't finished our own work, and until we finish our own work on the farm we can't go and do that. It's our farm comes first. It's going to make us more money than any contract will. And there we are. We have this field all nicely rolled. Let's just check it. And yeah, there we go. Field 6 showing 2 tiny spots up there and a tiny spot in that corner, but otherwise is very nicely rolled. Better than 2B is rolled. And so yeah, we need to head over to 2C, which is going to need rolling for the rest of the day, while the county is just finishing off its seeding. Had hoped the county would be finished by the time we got up here, but it looks like it's still got 1, maybe 2 rows to go. Yeah, in fact, it's almost done. It's got 2 headlands to go. Is that a section it's missed in the middle of the field, or is that just yeah, that's a little bit odd. Is it planted? It would seem to be planted where I'm standing. Let's just step away for a bit, have another look. Yeah, it's planted, so it must be to do with the type of tillage and everything on here. We have had a little bit of a weirdness with that on this field. And it seems that, yeah. Oh, I know what this is. This is bits where we've not gone over it with the destoner. And so it's still got the stubble texture on it. That makes sense. So as the theater gets started on its final headland, what I'm going to do is just follow it up here, and then I'm going to get started from this top corner. That means I'll be able to turn around on the field, and the seeder can just get the last 2 rows done. So I'm just sort of matching its speed as it gets up to here. Yeah, you can see exactly where I haven't gone over with the stone picker, because it's just giving me that texture on here. We will end up with a unified texture on this field, so it'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, it's weird. I thought I did do these headlands with the stone picker. Maybe I didn't. It's certainly a little bit odd, but it is covering the whole field with this. We are getting to this field a little bit later in the afternoon than I would have liked, but we should end up with a good amount of well, we should end up with everything being rolled today. This is a much easier field to get our roll around. I'm gonna drop myself down to 5th gear because we're not driving along the road. And we can turn our beacons off for that as well. Then it's going to be a nice finished job. The only thing, as I said, that we still have left to do is to go and get this all weeded. Once it germinates, and these 2 fields are our last 2 that needs doing. Just fixing an issue in the corner here, and the high bid for field 15 currently is 187,000. I don't think that is achievable at this point. Even if we did multiple contracts, I don't think we're going to get up to that level, which is a pity, because I think that we would do well off field 15. If it was just after we'd sold all our crops this year, I think it would be possible. But as that price over the next 2 days sort of approaches 200,000, I think it's going to be way out of the possibility for us to buy it. Our seeder has finished work and is now sitting behind my pillar in that bottom corner of the field. So all we need to do now today is finish off rolling this. And yeah, we're moving through it at a healthy speed. So I'm expecting to get through it, and then all of our seeding for this year on the farm will have been done, and all of our fields will be planted. This field is so much simpler than field 6. We are about 3/4 of the way through it at this point, and making good progress. We'll have this done by the end of the day. And as I said, that will be all of our fields nicely done, nicely seeded, and all we've left to do is weed this field and field 6, and that's our farm ready for a couple of months. In all honesty, I think the winter wheat is going to come ready fairly soon. It is looking that way already. We have a quick look in here. You can see that 12B and 3, which are our 2 winter wheat fields, those both are getting towards the top end of the scale as far as readiness goes. The next one we're expecting is 2A, which is a spring wheat field, I believe. Yeah, so that's the spring wheat. Those are the 2 winter wheats. We've then got canola in 1, 2B, and 12C. And we've got fields 2C, 12A, and 6 as our 3 fields of sorghum. We're also looking at 7 and 14, both have wheat in them as well. And they are not looking quite as ready. No. So they're looking more like spring wheat fields as well. Field 10, whatever is in that, I think that's oats. Yeah, that's a field of oats. That's looking fairly good as well. So yeah, 14 or 7 would both fit in very well with our setup and fit into our rotation rather nicely. I don't know if I would possibly 14. I think I'd certainly look to split, because it's quite a big field for us. Field 7, though, I think we'll probably take on as a single field itself when we get to that point. Coming around up onto the headlands. Looks like we're going to end in the bottom corner behind us. So it's kind of worked out opposite to how I would like. I'll have to move the county on my way back. And it doesn't like this hill very much, but it'll be fine. And we'll come back down to this way, and yeah, we're going to end up probably in that bottom corner over there, I think. Not the end of the world, although probably the corner I would least like to have ended up in. But sometimes that is just how it goes. We should be able to turn around up here fairly easily, though. Finish off this side, and yeah, we'll then head down the other corner and get that done. So I actually ended up doing the outer part of this headland first, and then coming back along here because with the similar colour to the field, I misinterpreted and went, oh, have I already rolled this? And or is this already good? And unfortunately not. So we can bring this down here. Although the advantage of this is that we've already covered this edge bit. So I can lift this up here, and then we can just fold the whole thing up, and the job's a good one. Let's have a look on here and just double check that we are all rolled. So that is over to here, and yeah, we've got a couple of little missed patches, but nothing major. And we're looking in pretty good shape. I'm very, very happy with this. So there we are. That is all of our fields seeded for this year. All of them rolled as well. We've got a little bit of problem with weeds in a couple, but nothing massive. And we are well on target. Just need to weed these 2 fields next time. But this is where I'm going to leave it for today. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.